Welcome back to more Lord of the Rings Online. Let's get straight back into the action here. Talk to Mithrandir to continue Book 8.
Worry gnaws at me, my friend.
You were at the Council of the Captains, Kippen, and you heard the arguments for and against this march to the Black Gate. You must know of its importance, as do I. But still, I am troubled. Before the battle consumed Minas Tirith, I spoke with Faramir of his watch in Ithilien, and he told me that his men encountered two hobbits in the wild, Frodo and Sam. Briefly he held them, but did not hinder their errand overlong, and soon released them for their purpose. But a third there was, and he served our friend as their guide, Gollum. Faramir spoke against the creature, but Frodo believed he could be trusted, and intended to follow him through a secret pass into Mordor. The pass is called Cirith Ungol. It is an evil place. I know enough of that pass to know that danger lurks there in the darkness, and I fear that Frodo may trust his guide too readily. Alas, that our roads run apart. A fortnight has passed since Frodo and Sam departed from Faramir's care. My wondering mind worries at how little we know of their fates, Kippen, and conjures terrible scenarios of what could have befallen. What has happened to our friends? What has happened to the ring? So it looks like we're going to be doing a session play here. We're playing as Gollum. Let's do it.
Up the stairs, Gollum, Gollum. And then the tunnel, yes. This way, good hobbitses, yes.
Alright, so we're still getting that bug where whenever you enter a session play, you get a bunch of quests that are related to your actual character. So I'm going to ignore those, try to ignore this for me as well. But this is very cool. We're definitely atop the stairs here in Cirith Ungol. You can kind of see it in the distance. Very exciting. Thank you for bringing us this far, Smeagol. I know it cannot have been easy for you to come all this way or to creep so near the city below, but you have done right by your promise. Just a little further, you said? I'm ready to put these stairs behind us, and then we will need to rest if we can. I am so very tired, and Sam may not say it, but he must be as well. Come on, Sam. We're nearly at the top. Got a letter. Oh. Yeah, this is all bug stuff. I have had my fill of these stairs, Mr. Frodo. Me too, Sam. Me too. What was it Gollum said was at the top of the stairs? A tunnel, he said. That's right. I don't much care for tunnels. Man, these are steep. The stairs, the tunnel, and Mordor. Who would have thought we'd make it there, Mr. Frodo? I think we are almost at the top. I can't believe it. At last. A tower. There's a tower above the pass. I don't like the look of that at all. Your secret way is guarded after all, Gollum. I suppose you knew it all along, leading us into a trap, are you? He is right, Sam. Every way into Mordor will be watched in some fashion. Look, we can rest over here, out of the wind. Very cool. It's interesting how reminiscent this little place is compared to the Peter Jackson films. I wonder if they modeled it after that, because it looks just like it. Sam and I need to rest from the climb before we move on to the tunnel you mentioned, Smeagol. I am exhausted, and I do not want to pass beneath that tower without recovering whatever strength we may. You should lie down and get some sleep as well, Smeagol. We will need all our rest for what lies ahead, I imagine. Try and get some sleep, Smeagol.
Sleep, precious. Yes, for a little while.
I wonder when we'll find water again. There isn't any up here so far as I can tell. Do you think there will be any in Mordor? Orcs must drink, surely. They do, but not the sort of drink we would want. And filling our bottles is even more important. But I have heard not so much as a drip or a trickle. Faramir said not to drink the water in Morgul Vale, so it doesn't matter.
Precious. Time to slip away.
He said not to drink any water flowing out of Imlat Morgul, not into it. Still, I wouldn't trust it, not unless I was dying of thirst. There's a foul odor about everything, a wicked and stuffy smell. Wow, the one skill Gollum has is called murder. That's insane. I don't like any of it, but we must take this path. It is the one we must take. That's true. And it's doubly true that we shouldn't be here right now. Maybe we wouldn't be if we had known the full extent of the thing before we started. I suppose it's always that way, isn't it? In the old stories, I mean. You may be right, Sam. I used to think folk in those stories went looking for their adventures. As if their lives were a little dull and they needed a bit of sport. But that's not the way of it at all. Not with the stories that really mattered. Folk in those stories more sort of landed in them and did the best they could. It could be that they had a chance to turn back, or lots of chances, and they didn't. And if they had turned back, well, we wouldn't remember them. We don't want to hear that they came back home and everything was alright and mostly the same. That's not always the best story to hear, though it might be the best one to be landed in. What sort of tale have we landed into, I wonder? I wonder too, but I don't know the answer, Sam. And that's the mark of a real tale, isn't it? Think of any story of which you're particularly fond. You might know how it'll end, or guess that the ending will be happy or sad. But the people inside the story don't know, and you wouldn't want them to know. That's true, Mr. Frodo. I mean, take Beren. He didn't know he was going to end up with the Silmaril from the Iron Crown, but he did. And that was a much more dangerous adventure than ours, wasn't it? And eventually the Silmaril came to Erendil. Oh, something just occurred to me. You've got some of its light in the glass that Lady Galadriel gave to you. We're in the same tale as Beren. Don't the great stories ever end? They don't end as tales, Sam, but the folk in them go when their part is finished. Our part in this tale will end once we've played it, soon or late. Then a good night's rest, and waking up to work in the garden. That's all I'm hoping for, Mr. Frodo. But I wonder if our own tale will ever be put into words and shared by fireside. Will folk ever ask to hear it? Will they say, "Tell us the one about Frodo and the ring"? That is one of my favorite stories. Frodo was so brave, wasn't he, Dad? Indeed, my boy. He was the most famous of all the hobbits. And as you know, that's really something. Oh, Sam, hearing you talk like this makes me think the tale is already written. But you've forgotten one of the chief characters, Samwise the Stout-Hearted. I want to hear more about Sam. Frodo wouldn't have gotten very far without Sam, would he, Dad? Don't make fun, Mr. Frodo. I was being serious. So was I, Sam. So was I. But look around us. This will be no one's favorite part, that's for certain. We should get some rest while we can. That's true, sir. You catch some sleep, and I'll stay a watch. Okay, looks like the dialogue is finished. I like that a lot. That is essentially straight out of the book. So I have to sneak away from the hobbits, but unfortunately I lay down right in front of them. But you know what? We're just gonna move. Get up, little Gollum. Alright. And I think I need to go this way. Yeah, I like this part where Sam is here at the stairs and he's telling Frodo about the tale of Beren and Luthien. And yeah, that's pretty interesting. For you guys who haven't read the Silmarillion, Beren essentially steals the Silmaril from Morgoth's crown to prove his love to Luthien, so that her father Thingol will allow him to marry her. Won't spoil everything, but essentially the Silmaril eventually makes its way all the way into sharing a little bit of its light into the file that Galadriel gives Frodo. So it's kind of cool to connect Middle-earth history to the tale.
What do you want, precious? Leave me alone.
No, Precious, don't go this way. We mustn't hurt the nice master. We swore, Precious. We swore to serve the nice master. Do not try to hurt him. Must not. Gollum, Gollum.
Weak. Do not listen to him. Gollum, Gollum.
I like this. I like how you interact with your alter ego as Gollum here. Back when I was doing the book club thing last year, I was going to do the Tale of Beren and Luthien, just to kind of tie it into the Lord of the Rings Online series. I have a lot of notes on it. I still may do that at some point. I don't know.
Smeagol is back, the coward.
We shouldn't leave the hobbits as Gollum, Gollum. They trust us, they do, and we swore on the Precious. Nice master trusts Smeagol, yes. He's a friend to us, a good friend. We swore to serve the master of the Precious.
Once we have the precious, we will be the master.
There it is. The lair of Shelob.
Leave us alone, Smeagol. This is the only way. Gollum.
Please don't go inside the tunnel. Gollum, Gollum. We can't bring the hobbitses to her. She'll eat them, yes, and not just a fat one, but Master too, and Smeagol can't do that to them. No, Precious, no. Don't go to her.
She won't want the precious, though. No, indeed.
That's another little connection here with some of the Middle-earth lore. You have Ungoliant, which is a giant spider, which essentially Smeagol is the spawn of, and Ungoliant helped Morgoth distill the Silmarils. So, all very interesting Middle-earth history.
Now what was the right way?
Very cool. This is cool. I can't believe I actually get to play around here in Shelob's Lair. I know there's a raid for it, I think, and it may be coming up soon for me. Because I think it's in Mordor, right? Ooh, can I murder this hatchling? Ah, that skill cannot be used. Unfortunate. Find her, Precious, and tell her what we have brought. So I'm actually looking for Shelob here. Man, I feel like every episode I've played the last couple of seasons has felt so climactic, and it just keeps going. It's really cool. Which way should I take here? It's gonna keep going straight. I'm gonna follow the pile of dead orcs. Surely that's going to lead me in the right direction. See, but now it kind of branches. The bodies kind of go off in both directions, but assuming all this webbing, I kind of want to go here.
Almost there, Precious. Almost there.
Seems to be the right way. It's definitely getting more ominous.
You remember? You remember poor Smeagol, yes? Not tasty? No, not tasty at all. But Smeagol, he brings you tasty foods, yes? They are almost here. A gift, yes. A gift for you. And then we will be free of our promise. And the precious will be ours. There is no other way, Smeagol. No other way.
Man, that was totally epic. And I love how they did, you know, like the classic horror movie strategy of not actually showing the big scary enemy, in this case Shelob. You just kind of get Shelob's perspective, but you don't get to see her yet. Build that suspense, build that horror, build that drama. Very well done. I love it. That was a lot of fun. A little bit of lag here, to be expected,
In my
of course.
heart, I guessed that Frodo and Gollum would meet before the end.
But I hope that Frodo does not trust blindly. If he remains alert to the possibility of deceit, perhaps he can prevent it before it leads our friends to harm. Or has it already done so? It has been 2 weeks since they left Hinneth Anun, and still there has been no word. If they fell prey to some treachery of golems, surely we would have heard by now. Kirithungol. Mithrandir's voice trails away as his eyes search the horizon. After a moment, his attention returns and a smile briefly illuminates his features. I should have not given in to these fears, Kippen. The ring remains out of Sauron's grasp. Let that keep our hearts afloat and allay some of our worries. For if Frodo were betrayed to Sauron, I feel certain that the Dark Lord would make use of the ring at once, and we would know that the end has arrived. That has not happened. The ring and Frodo have not been seized by the Dark Lord. Every step that Frodo takes towards the fire kindles our hope. Okay. And then this quest, of course, is a repeatable that I did a lot of, so I'm not going to keep doing that. That was last season.
My thoughts are also with Frodo and Sam.
And I fear for their safety in the company of Gollum. But I agree with Mithrandir that they may still yet be alive, for we would know if Sauron had the ring. But my reasoning is not that of the wizard. I traveled with Frodo and Sam for almost 4 months, and we had many adventures and braved many dangers. And even after so many shared hardships, I think Master Gamgee had the only just begun to warm up to me, and perhaps did not yet entirely trust his Strider. He will not take his eye off of Gollum, even if Frodo perhaps will. I do not think Gollum will be able to take advantage of our Samwise, even if he thinks he can. They will be fine, inasmuch as any who might have misfortune to have the journey in the Blackland.
This is likely to be our last battle.
It is our misfortune that we must march to the Black Gate with little hope of our own survival, Kippen. So many good men have placed their lives in my hands, trusting that this course is important. I believe that it is, but it does not make the burden of that choice any lighter. Some of my kinsmen are deep in thought, contemplating the roads that have led them here, while they ready themselves for the road to come. Will you speak with some of them and put words of how grateful I am for all of them and what they have done? This is likely to be our last battle, and I want them to know that I appreciate their service not only as their captain or as their king, but also as their friend and kinsman. This may be the last chance to tell them so, and I do not want to miss that opportunity. Alright, so admittedly this is a little bit of a shorter episode, but I think it's fairly well self-contained with that session play quest. I think it's nice to kind of keep it on its own. Last episode was a little long, this one's a little short. I hope you can still appreciate that. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks for stopping by the Renaissance Gaming Monastery. I hope you join our community on Discord and Twitter. These videos are produced with a lot of hard work and love. If you think they're worth $1, I'd be grateful for your contribution. You can send a thanks donation or become a member on YouTube. You can also support through PayPal, Patreon, or even with cryptocurrency. All links are in the description. See you on the next video.